Dating. Good old dating. The subject that causes so much people so much unhappiness in life. And why does that subject cause so many people unhappiness? Because most people don't understand it. Most people don't even know what they're looking for in life, much less to what they're going to look for in another partner. Well, I'm here to talk about that with you all today. So one of the fundamental things a lot of people fail to understand, I think, in life because they haven't taken the time to think about it and they haven't ever been explained it, is that when you're out seeking someone to date, you're looking for two things normally in a balanced relationship. That is the physical connection, and then the other half is the mental and spiritual connection. One is no good without the other, because guys or girls, if you have just an all physical connection, great sex, mind-blowing orgasms, mind-blowing coming everywhere, everybody's happy, blah, blah, blah. But then you're sitting there and you can't talk about anything afterwards and it's crickets, that's not going to get you anywhere. But then if you have, on the other hand, the same exact thing, but the opposite, in the sense that great conversation, super bonding, fantastic, intellectual, stimulating conversation, but you get to bed and it's it's a flop. Guess what? It's not going to work out that way either, because it's a mutual satisfaction. You have to be satisfied on all levels. And again, we're talking about if your aim is for actually dating someone to look for a future with them. We're not talking about hooking up. We're not talking about a sex partner. We're not talking about friends with benefits. We're talking about good old-fashioned dating to look for somebody to have a long-term relationship with. Now, we can talk about the other things. The reason why it seems like a lot of people in general are plagued with disappointment constantly is because so many people are seeking different things. If everyone was honest with each other and what they were seeking, both men and women, then there wouldn't be so much turmoil. But the problem is you have a lot of people that are not being upfront from the beginning. You have person A that's looking for a long-term relationship, and they meet person B who's not looking for a long-term relationship and only wants to have sex with them. So they both waste a bunch of time because one person is trying for one thing and the other person is trying for something else. If people actually took the time to have more communication and less activities, then they would understand this and there would be a lot less hurt feelings. What I mean by that is a good date should be all about quality conversation and learning about each other. Activities don't work. You can't say, okay, I'm going to go to an amusement park this time. The next thing I'm going to do is take her skiing. Then we're going to go whitewater rafting. Then we're going to go mountain climbing. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to take a yoga class. We're going to go shooting at the range. We're going to go golf. We're going to do whatever, skydiving. And then guess what? It's 9 dates. I spent 9 dates with her. We really know each other. We've spent a lot of time together. Let's have sex and jump in the bath. It's not going to work, guys. Number one, you're doing activities. You know nothing about that woman that you did 9 dates ago because you spent no time. You spent time with her doing activities, which is fantastic. If you already had a bond, then those times would actually mean something, mean memorable and cherished memories. But if you don't know the person, you don't have a bond, she's nervous the whole time because she knows the waiting for the other foot to drop, the other shoe to drop, I'm sorry to say. And meanwhile, you think you're keeping a tally in your mind to say, oh, okay, check. I'm going to get in her pants because I had 9 days with her. Dates. No, that doesn't work that way. If you would start off having an actual date where you go out to eat and then find a place that you can talk quietly for hours and hours and get to know each other to see what your likes, dislikes, dreams, hopes, etc. If you guys get along, if you have chemistry, if you can actually hold a conversation, that's going to work out. Do more of that. It's not going to work out the other way. It's not. The problem is too many men these days don't know how to court women, don't know how to date. They don't know anything about romance. They know nothing about dating etiquette. Guys, you got to wise up. We're in a different time and place. I'm an old dude, so, dating back when I was younger was a lot different. It was passed down. It was around in our society. You saw it. This is a hookup culture with a lot of online dating and a lot of sex. Sex. Like sex is everything. Back then, it was more, not that the sex wasn't prevalent, but at least people were kind of a little more honest about it. They didn't disguise themselves as looking for one thing, and they're really not looking for that, and they are being deceptive. The problem is communication and honesty. If people are more open and honest about what they wanted from the beginning, this hookup culture wouldn't happen. And the problem is on both ends. It's twofold perspective. What I mean by that is you get a lot of dudes that are, especially these days, that, take a lot of time, work out hard, do all these good things, blah, 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 and they're horny as fuck. So they go around looking for women to fuck because basically they're a walking, hormone-filled, testosterone-filled hard-on. And that's all they're looking for is a hole to stick their dicks in. Bottom line, we'll just be honest about it. And they will lie, cheat, steal, and do whatever they can to get a woman in bed to satisfy that temporary act, which is all about them. When I say it's all about them, let's break down sex to what it really is, okay? Sex is the ultimate form of physical affection, right? That is showing a person that you care about them through expression of physical lovemaking. Then you have carnal sex. Carnal sex is selfish. Carnal sex is just about you. For a guy, oh my God, her breast. Oh my God, her butt. Oh my God, her pussy's tight. Oh, she's so wet. Oh, boom. They come 2 minutes later. Because it was all about me. They were just thinking about them. Same thing for girls, whatever it is that gets you off. Oh my God, his abs. Oh my God, his chest. Oh my God, his beard. Whatever it gets you off. Boom, boom, boom. You orgasm. And it's done. And he's left standing there. Either way, it's selfish on both ends. That's what carnal sex is about. It is not deep. It is not lasting. It is not long. And it's not usually that intense. It may be intense and quick for that little bit of time, but it is nothing like good sex, meaning the ultimate form of physical affection, after you've had a bond with somebody and you've gotten to know them, you've spoken with them a long time, you spent quality time with them, knowing who and where they are and where they come from, and you guys have actually made some kind of bond and emotional connection. That is way better. That's when you fight to push the other person before you. Oh, honey, let me go down on you. You know why? Because I'm freaking turned on to who you are. I love your brain. I love your mind. I love the way you think. I love how clever you are. You are so awesome. And I just want to freaking express that. And I want to do something really personal, really touching, really emotional. Let me go down on you. Let me let you orgasm in my mouth. Let me please you. Let me bring this to you. And for women, oh my God, same thing. They want to go and do the same kind of expression. So what I'm saying to you is, there's a huge difference in that. You know, a lot of women these days don't know that there's two kinds of orgasms. There's clitoral, and then there's a deep intercourse orgasm that can happen. But guess what? If you are not turned on well enough, if you don't know enough about your own bodies, you don't know how to squeeze the Kegel muscles, you don't know how to elevate your hips to squeeze your butt in, you don't know how to bring on that internal orgasm, it's never going to happen. A lot of women, clitoral only, they play with themselves, rub one out all the time, just like guys, rub one out. It's just a topical thing, and that's it. There's so much more to it, and it can be awesome, and it can be great, and you don't even have to be in a relationship. Like I said, there can be different kinds. We're all adults. Just be honest and upfront about it. Dudes and girls, both of you, if it's a physical thing you want and that's what you're interested in, just state it. On this day of online dating, there's plenty of sites out there for that. Don't go around, girls or guys, looking to mess with people who are sincerely looking out for a long-term relationship. That's deceptive, it's fucked up, and it's wrong. And that's ruining it for people who do want a long-term relationship. I'm not here to judge anyone. If you want to just go around and fuck your brains out the rest of your life, to each their own. Kudos to you. But what I'm trying to tell you is, don't do it and don't hurt people. Stop breaking hearts for sex. Stop fucking hearts over to have sex, because it messes up for the people who are actually sincerely looking for someone. Having sex with a stranger is carnal sex. Not that I've never done it, but it's nowhere near as satisfying as having sex with someone who's your friend, who you've taken the time to establish a bond with, a mental, spiritual connection, someone who you spent time with, who you care about. It's a totally different thing. And so many people aren't aware of it. All they're used to is carnal sex, so that's all they know. And it's so short, so it's like a little shot, like drugs. They just get a little taste. They get this super high, and then they go looking for it again. That's why these clubs are packed every weekend. You know, I did club security for 17 years, and I saw it. I watched people exchange partners, different girls coming in for years, different guys coming in, leaving with each other, and then come back and be with someone else the next week, because they don't know about that there's more to it. And then they might just be in that time of life where they just want to hook up. And that's fine. Again, I'm not judging, to each their own. But what I want to talk about is to the people I want to speak to right now are the people who are looking for a long-term relationship. Guys, there's no reason to rush into sex with a lady. Take your time to get to know her. Take her out on a date. Make her feel special. Put her on a pedestal. Put time, effort, and thought into the date. Be a gentleman. You show up to the restaurant early. You make the reservations. You already be waiting there to escort her inside. You already have a table there planned. You sit to watch the exit, so make sure that in case anything bad gets out, you can take her out and get her to safety. You get up after you're done eating and you go to the bathroom, you check your teeth to make sure you don't have crap in your teeth. You rinse your mouth out. You bring a little pocket spray of Baraka or whatever the breath spray they're using these days are. And on the way back, you drop your credit card off at the waiter when your date's not looking, and you take care of that meal. You be a gentleman. You go back, you pay for the meal, you leave, and you offer to escort her to her car. If you want to go and have time with her and actually get to know her, then offer to go for a walk if it's nice out. Let's go to a park. Let's go to Starbucks. Let's go to Barnes & Noble. Let's go somewhere. Follow her in her vehicle. Don't try to get her in your car. Don't try to get in her car. Make her comfortable. Let her know that her comfort is important to you. When you guys are done, wish her a good night. Kiss her on the back of the hand first. Grab her hand, kiss the back of her hand. Give her a nice, sincere hug. Don't try to tongue fuck her. Don't try to tongue fuck her mouth. Let her go. Get her home. Make sure you either talk to her on the drive home or make sure that by the time she gets home that she has texted you and you don't go to sleep that night until you know she's back home safely. And that matters. Those things matter. Write gay, love-sick poems. Express how you feel about her. Don't go buying things. Make things. Things that are that take thought and time, that come from the heart, that show she's special to. Those are the things that matter. Those are the things, and that's how you treat women. That's how you romance them. That's how you court them and make them understand that they're special to you. Don't ever rush sex. She'll let you know. Because again, when the bond is right and the bond has been established, it's not going to be something that you need to force. She's going to let you know that she's ready. And then you can express that to her. And when it's time for that, again, put her first. Make sure she comes first. Lots of foreplay. Kissing her, holding her face when you kiss her, looking at her in her eyes when you're doing whatever. Those things matter. Those things make her understand that she's the center of your universe. You're not thinking about anybody else. You're there to be with her. Those are the important things. Take your time. Don't put her the pressure. Don't ask her if she's on birth control. Bring a condom. If she's on birth control, she'll tell you. Don't make it hard for her. Be a gentleman. These are the things that are important. I don't want to segue off of that or stick to that point too long because it's way too much to go into, but we'll circle back to that later. Because this first video, I just want to make about a sample of some of the things I'm going to talk about. So now we're going to skip over to where I am. I've been married happily for 10 years to my wife. Me and my wife have a fantastic sex life. We fuck 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's fantastic and it's awesome. It's awesome. Sorry, went off on a little mental thing there. I hope she gets home soon so we can take care of that when she gets back. At any rate, sorry about that squirrel. Guys, date your wife. As soon as your wife has kids, date her. You need to rekindle that romance. She put her body on the line for you, for your children. She's got stretch marks now. She is a little maybe more overweight than she was. She is all these things that in her mind, she's no longer as appealing and has self-conscious. You make sure that she knows that she is still that same woman that you were courting and dating so desperately before. You redate her just the same way. You make sure she appreciates and knows how much she's appreciated by you. That means buying flowers. That means writing poetry again. That means planning dates. That means doing special things, even if it's crappy. Like, to give you an example, when our kids were younger and they're downstairs playing, my 3 daughters, me and my wife will go out and say, hey kids, we're going out to feed the chickens. Meanwhile, we pull get a quickie in the garage, and then we go out and feed the chickens and get, the eggs or whatever. Make the time. Be creative. Be imaginative. Oh, we have kids. We never have any time. You know what? There's the stairwell. There's the laundry room. There's this time. There's that time. There's always time. That same attention. Because again, that balance of spiritual and mental and then physical, it needs to always be maintained for a whole. This is why so many marriages are unhappy. I post stuff on Facebook all the time about how much me and my wife have sex. And the saddest thing, a friend of mine, a police officer, wrote, man, I'd be lucky to have it twice a year, once on my birthday, once on Christmas. What kind of fucking marriage do you guys have? That's ridiculous. That's not cool. And that's not right. It's important. That bond is very important. The physical, mental, and the spiritual, and it all comes together as one thing. The thing that people don't understand about relationships in general, too, is this. You probably heard the cliche of, I need you, so I love you. That's the wrong kind of love because you're dependent on the person. It's always, I love you, so I need you because I love you. This is how it should be, like two fists pushing towards each other. Not one holding on to the other, not the other one holding on this codependency shit, but each person pushing towards each other, which keeps it tight. You pushing towards them and them pushing right back to you, each giving 100%. That's what keeps people together. It's not a hard, complex thing. Communication, honesty, those are the things, the core in dating, marriage, and every other way around. It's really not that hard. You know, a lot of people sabotage and set themselves up for failure. And I'm going to give you one such instance. A female friend of mine, we will just say, I don't know, we'll call her Tulip. Tulip told me a story about how she had this horrible date with this guy that she met on one of the dating apps, whatever that swipe right, swipe left dating app is, the hookup sex app. That's what people call it, whatever. Anyway, she tells me the story. She lives in, we're in a tri-state area. She lives in one state. He lives in another state. She works all day, works her butt off. This guy makes her drive an hour and a half to his state, meet her. Yeah, nice gentleman there. Fail, number one right there. Big red flag. They go out to dinner. After dinner, they split the check. Again, to each your own. Like I said, again, I was taught to be a gentleman, and the first few dates, you guys can split it later. That's fine. If that's what you want in this world of everyone's equal, whatever, that's fine. I don't care. It's not a chauvinistic thing. I was just taught to be a gentleman. That's the way I do it. So if you don't like it, fuck you. Bottom line is they split the check, whatever. They leave the restaurant and they go out to this dude's car and they start making out. I told her to make sure she called me after the date. I wanted to make sure she was okay. I also was curious to see how it went. So 45 minutes later, which I was a shock, she calls me and she's upset. And I said, well, tell me what happened. She's like, we get there, you know, he's late. He really didn't know what he was going to decide to eat. I order for myself. He orders for himself. You know, we split the check. We didn't really talk that much at dinner. We go out to his car. We start making out. And his mouth tasted like turkey. It was disgusting. Like I was gagging and it was gross and it was nasty. And he smelled bad. I said, okay, so what did you do? She's like, well, I was really horny and he really looked good. So I really wanted to go back to his place and have sex. Okay, bizarro here again because I don't understand. She said she's looking for a boyfriend. So I didn't interrupt. This is the thoughts that are going through my mind. And they get back to his place and make out in front of his house. And he doesn't invite her in. She's furious because she's horny from making out with him, and he sends her on her way. The last thing that she said to me that didn't make any sense to her, why he didn't invite her in. And I said, well, why is that? She's like, now keep in mind, she's telling me she's looking for a boyfriend, and this is a long-term opportunity. This young lady is, I think, 28 years old, one of my female friends. And I said, what was so perplexing to you, Tulip? And she said, well, he told me I had a pretty pussy. So I'm shocked he didn't let me in after he told me how pretty my pussy looked. And I sat on the phone in disbelief with my jaw dropped. And I said, if this was your first date, how did he see your pussy? She said, oh, when we first started talking online, he asked me for some nudes and I sent them to him. Blown away, folks. Blown away. So you tell me you're looking for a boyfriend, but you sabotage yourself from the beginning of the date. So let's pick this apart. So my friend Tulip already screwed herself by showing a guy who's a stranger that he doesn't know making homemade porn and sending to him. And first, number one big strike. This guy doesn't make the dinner reservations, comes in late, doesn't ask her what she wants to eat, doesn't order for her, doesn't pay the check, doesn't go to the bathroom and rinse his dirty mouth out from the turkey that he ate for dinner, but yet he's still out in the car kissing my friend with his disgusting dinner breath. builds it up online that he's really attracted to her. She's so hot, blah, blah, blah. She's ready to seal the deal. He doesn't even follow through with that. And it's done. Horrible. So if everybody's dating situations are going like this these days, I can see why people are discouraged. I told her that she set herself up for failure. She had no business sending a guy that she doesn't know nude pictures of herself unless, again, not judging, if that's what you're doing and you're looking for sex only, then hey, send all the nudes you want to every guy you meet and you're going to get exactly what you're looking for. Pure, unadulterated, carnal sex, which is him, you, quick and short, done, gonna need it again soon, etc., etc. But you're not going to get a long-term relationship out of that. So many women that I've met over the years, a little background on myself. Before I got married, I dated 120 plus women of all ages, sizes, shapes, cultures, creeds, and that's why I have a pretty good knowledge about relationships, and that's why I can speak to this, because I've seen the best and the worst of it all. And I continue to see it, and I continue to see why people fail, and it's just a gift I have. So I'm hoping that some of this stuff will not only entertain you, but it will actually give you some knowledge and you'll have some value out of it. Yeah. The dating culture these days is, it actually literally blows my mind. I'll give you an example of another awesome date that I had, where a woman put her foot down and basically made me respect her, even though I wasn't planning to disrespect her anyway. So I'll tell you guys this story. I was out with some of my friends at a local bar. We're having a great time. We're dancing all night. Me and my buddies are dancing with this chick and her friend. We'll just call her Daisy. So Daisy and I dance all night. We have some slow songs. We're doing a little rubbing, a little pushing. Things are getting hot. Last song comes. She comes and sits on my lap. Her friend is sitting over talking to my buddy. She says, "Hey, you want to go get something to eat afterwards?" And I was like, "Sure." And she's like, "Hey, after that, why don't we go back and talk at my condo in McLean?" And I was like, "Sure." She turns and talks to her friend. Then she turns around me, looks at me dead serious in the eye and says, "Don't think just because I invited you back to my place that you're getting lucky tonight." And I sat there for a second. I said, wow. And I just laughed my ass off because it was so refreshing that this woman put her foot down to demand respect and tell me ahead of time. She set the communication wide open of what she was looking for, and it was refreshing, and I appreciated that. We went back to her house. We spoke. We talked till 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, I believe. Before I passed out on the couch. She went to her bedroom. Next day I left, and we continued to date, and we ended up dating for about 2 years after that. But it was awesome because she set the precedence. If more women understood and made men respect them and made them understand that, hey, I'm worth earning, that I'm not just going to jump in the sack with you. You're going to take the time to know me. You're going to take the time to see what kind of person I am. You're going to see if you want to be with me before you ever have sex with me. Then the people who are getting crushed because they want more than just sex would not be getting crushed anymore because they have the control. The problem is I've met girls who think the exact opposite. They think, oh, well, since this guy's asking me for sex, he's hot, I'm hot, and I really think he's hot, and blah, blah, blah. If I just give him what he wants, then he'll have a relationship with me. Girls, guys don't think that way. He will not do that at all. He will just cross you off the list if all he's looking for is sex as another achievement, and he'll be on to the next one because he's looking for another challenge, another hunt, and another prey. That doesn't work. But so many girls think that works. Guys, a lot of guys think that works too. Oh, if I blow her socks off sexually, yeah, she'll be with me forever, man. I'll get her addicted to my dick because I got the magic stick. Wrong. No, you don't, dude. Doesn't work that way either, okay? Like I said, one half, sex, spiritual and mental, the other half. Doesn't work without the other. Does not work that way, guys. And that's another quintessential problem. Like I said, if it's just the hookup culture, if all you want to do is have sex, there's plenty of websites out there for that. But there's a lot of weak-ass guys out there that go around and they call themselves players that lie and say they love girls that they don't love, tell them they care about them when they don't, doing all these things to fool girls to get into their pants because it's the thrill of the hunt. They're dishonest and they break hearts to have sex. They fuck people through their hearts to have sex. And then those women get damaged, give up on dating, and go off and hermit. Meanwhile, there's good guys out there looking for them and can't find them because of that reason. These are just a few, again, samples of what I want to talk about on my new show, TFL.